T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Jones messed with the wrong melon farmers. Thug life. And here we go.
I prayed that he would burn in hell, but in my heart, I knew that hell would not have him.
You are all my children now.
This is as far as you go. No more.
Hello, Sydney. Are you God damn me.
Wish I had you all alone, just the two of us.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
This force, this thing that lived inside of him came from a source too violent, too deadly for you to imagine. It grew inside him, contaminating his soul. It was pure evil.
I prayed that he would burn in hell, but in my heart, I knew that hell would not have him.
Ooh, baby, 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 ooh, baby.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Movies and Beyond. Once again, I am Michael, and today it's Sunday. It's the Sunday Horror Hangout. Let me double check. Okay, I did double check everything because Friday when I did this, I did all the same stuff I did Friday, and my mic didn't work. But it didn't do it to me today. What's up, good people? We're halfway to Halloween. Well, actually, I'm about 2 weeks late on that, but better late than never. What a glorious time to talk about Halloween. I do not know the last time I talked about Halloween on this channel. It has been a minute. And I'm down to do it tonight. I am down to do it tonight. This tier chart that I'm doing tonight, I did in video form 2.5 years ago. And I'm curious, has anything changed? I'm not sure. I didn't even look at it. I set everything up. I didn't even think about what I was going to do. We are going to just go by what happens tonight. And I think that this is better. I think it was like a 25-minute video, something like that. I talked about each one, which I'm happy to do again, but I think that it'll be even better getting your guys in the live chats input as we go. Like, is there anyone in here that can change my mind about Halloween Resurrection? Or would you even want to? Pretty sure I know where that one's going. But it's good to be here. It is freaking Sunday. And you got me. You got me tonight. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love hanging out with you guys tonight. Let's see who we have in the chat so I can say what's up to all you good people. I see Jerry's in the chat saying hello, Michael. I'm very excited for this one. Hello, Movies and Beyond family. Smash that like button and kick back and enjoy the show. Definitely do so. What's up, Jerry? I hope you are doing well. I hope you're doing well. I see that Gina's in the chat as well saying happy Sunday. What's up, Gina? Long time no see. I hope you are doing well. But shit, it's been a long time since I've been on here on a Sunday. So here I am. Here we go. What's up, Gina? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Peter Anthony from Peter Anthony Productions is in the chat as well. What is going on, my man? He's saying LFG. Let's go. Let's go. What is going on? I hope you are doing well, my man. I hope you're doing well. Oracle's in the chat as well saying, oh, yeah. You probably do. I almost heard like a Macho Man with the way that you wrote that. Is that the way that you tried to get it across, Oracle? Let me know, because that's how I heard it in my head. My impression of the Macho Man. No, it's not so great. Not so great. Melissa's in the chat throwing up the hashtag Thug Life. What is up, Melissa? I hope that you are doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Michael G is in the chat as well saying, what is up, folks? What's up, Michael G? I hope you've been doing well, sir. It's been a minute since I've been on here on a Sunday. I hope that you are doing well, sir. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Let's see. Wayne Turner is in the chat saying, hi, Michael. On Michael. It's 10:04 a.m. Monday here in Sydney, Australia. Where have you been for weeks on this day? Dude, it's been busy for me. It has definitely been busy for me. One weekend we were filming. Another weekend I was at a convention. I was out of town. So yeah, it's here I am though. Here I am. Val's from Val's Views is in the chat. The General is in the chat, and the General always gets a salute from Movies and Beyond. And she says, hey, you guys. And now I'm hearing Sloth from Goonies. Did you try to come across as Sloth from Goonies, Val? You have to let me know. That's the way that I heard it. But it's good to see you. Good to see you. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Yeah, let's see. Who else do we have in the chat? Did I get everybody that's chatting? Melissa said it's been too long. Yeah, I do my best with this stuff, but hopefully when the seventh day is finished and it's done being edited and everything has been finished with it, it will be worth it, right? It will be worth it. I'm hoping that you guys enjoy it. I'm hoping so much you guys enjoy it. Trust me, it has been an experience sitting in the editing chair. And for those of you who have edited to that degree, you guys know, I'm sure Peter, you sat in front of an editing chair for a freaking long time. It's a lot of work. It is definitely a lot of work. And hopefully I can get to the point soon to where you guys will get a little mini trailer. And I will be bringing the cast on the show, and we will talk about it. So definitely looking forward to doing that. I will definitely be monitoring what I let them say and whatnot. But yeah, we'll get to that and definitely hopefully soon. I'm hoping maybe next month. We can do something like that. I think that you guys will all enjoy it. Wayne saying welcome back. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. It's happy. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be doing this tonight. I'm happy to be talking about Halloween tonight. Shit, I don't know when the last time I talked about Halloween was. I am not sure, but we're gonna do it tonight. We are gonna do it tonight. Oracle saying, yes, it's the way I tried to get it across as the Macho Man. See, dude, like we're right here. I got you. I've got you, my man. That's definitely how I read it for sure. Val is saying, said in my best sloth voice. Freaking fantastic. Freaking fantastic. I see that Wayne is saying tomorrow you're gonna go see Obsession, dude. I want to see that as well. And I was looking at something. I am very behind on my horror movies for this year. I've been so damn busy this year. You guys know I've got the new work schedule, filming a movie, and all that. I am so far behind on movies. I've found myself when I am watching movies, I'm kind of watching comfort movies right now. So a lot of like older stuff. I watched the first 3 Underworld movies last weekend. I think it was last weekend. One of the weekends. I don't know. I think it was last weekend. I watched all 3 of the Underworld movies, and it had been a minute since I saw those, and it was just like, damn, man, I remember how dope these were. Like, I actually, I had a really good time with those, and I think that there's something I may want to do, like video wise, on those movies, just for the simple fact that I had so much fun rewatching those movies. And if you are a fan of Underworld, how badass is Marcus? I mean, seriously, in Evolution, how badass is freaking Marcus? I don't think that he gets enough credit for his badassery in that movie. So many quotable lines, and just, dude, what a fucking sick ass character. I mean, holy shit. Holy shit. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of comfort movies. I watched Godzilla King of the Monsters. I think probably that same weekend. I watched that, and that's probably one of my favorite Godzilla movies of all time. It's up there, right? And it was just like, damn, man, this is so damn good. I can't believe it had been, so long, since I'd seen it. And also, if you watch Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, it kind of puts things into perspective as well, because timeline wise, going back and watching Legacy of, or watching King of the Monsters, it definitely helped me with Monarch for sure. Yeah, let's see. Michael back in all black. Well, I got a black t-shirt on. I got jeans on though, dude. Those aren't black. Black, I guess, black hat. Yeah. Obsession was good, dude. I hear it's freaking amazing. We did that whole special on Curry Barker that Michelle set up for us, where we watched Milk and Cereal, and I forget the name of the other one, but we watched one of his shorts as well, leading up to Obsession. And on top of that, dude's getting another movie about ghosts after this, and then he's the guy for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So it's crazy, what Obsession did for his career, right? I think Obsession is like 96 on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Last time I checked, like, it was up there. So hell yeah, man. Like, I can't wait to check it out. unless I start getting paid, man. Like, yeah, definitely. Like, I would love to. Wayne said, I've never seen an Underworld movie, though I have seen a dance music group, Underworld. Dude, you should check out at least the first 3 Underworlds. The other ones after that, I really can't speak for so much, but at least the first 3. For sure. Paula's in the chat saying, nice to see everyone. Nice to see you too, Paula. Nice to see you as well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Wayne is saying, I recently watched Lee Cronin's The Mummy. So disappointed. The Exorcist ripoff, more like it, and not a good one. And not a good one. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, my man. Jeff D'Angelo is in the house as well. What's up, Jeff? I hope you are doing well, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, guys. Well, I, talked about Obsession. We talked about Godzilla, King of the Monsters. We talked about Underworld. But tonight, we're here to talk about Halloween. It has been a minute since we've gotten into Halloween, and I can't wait to do it. I cannot wait to do it. And we're doing it in tier chart fashion. So, we're going to get to talk about every movie, and I will randomly pull them up. I will say where I think it should go, and then we'll have a conversation about it. So what this will be tonight will be my tier chart. It will be mine, whether you can agree or disagree. I never do it that way, right? I always let the live chat decide where it goes. And I was kind of torn between that. Yeah, it's too many. And it's too many for me to do by myself to set up polls and everything for it. But we will talk about each and every one, and I will go into the chat for sure. But I'm going to pull these up at random. Definitely, for sure, I will pull these up at random. So we don't know, immediately what's coming. So it's not like, oh, Halloween 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not going to do it that way. So let me go ahead and bring up my tier chart if it wants to ask before pressing. Oh, why is this doing this? Let me remove this. Studio's being stupid. And there it is. That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. Lovely. Russell says, what's up, everyone? Let's smash that like button if you haven't already. Let's get this party started. Thug Life, hi, Michael, and everyone in the chat. What is up, my man? What is up? What is going on? All right. Let's go ahead and get started with these, and I will pull up a random. We're pulling up a random. Russell, I hope you're doing well, buddy. I was going to reach. Oh, shit. It pulled up the OG. I didn't even mean to do that. I couldn't even see what I was grabbing to. Let's start with the OG Halloween, 1978. John Carpenter's 1978 Halloween, right? And that's the only one that you can say is a John Carpenter's Halloween, right? He was involved in the second one. He's done music for other ones, but there is only one vision of, Halloween through just John Carpenter. And that was the original. That was the freaking original. To me, I love our top tier, right? Our top tier, because, that's where it's going to go for me. And definitely I want to talk about this in the chat and some of the things that this movie did. But to me, it is going. There's no way for me to not put this up here. But this
is God.
It is God. It's easily and probably the easiest one on the list for me to put in this, right? Is the original 1978 Halloween, right? So this did a lot for horror movies, right? It is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. You guys know that, Jason, we talk about our favorites. Jason will always be my favorite, right? But that doesn't mean that Halloween is not. The original Halloween is my favorite slasher movie of all time. It is. And just because Jason is my favorite and Friday the 13th is my favorite series, it doesn't mean from an individual level that Halloween cannot be my favorite slasher movie of all time. I mean, let's look at this, right? The villain. Freaking fantastic, right? You've got Loomis in this. Loomis is Michael's hype man. So anytime Michael's not on the screen, anytime, he's talking about him, right? He's building that tension of Michael Myers. He's letting everybody know how evil he is. He is building that tension, and he does it so well. So, the screen time that Michael has in this movie, it's not a lot. But when you have a character like Loomis, and Donald Pleasance did an amazing job playing this character. When you have a character like Loomis that is just constantly, talking about the evil, talking about looking at the wall, looking past the wall, talking about the devil's eyes, talking about all of that stuff, man. Because to me, when I'm watching this, Loomis paints a picture to where you may not see it on screen right away, but he is just like, holy shit. If you're watching Halloween for the first time, you're like, how freaking, what are we dealing with here? Right? And then you get him standing behind the bushes. He's following Jamie or Annie, depending on which way you want to look at it. I seem to think he was following Annie, but that's fine. You get all of that tension, and it has a lot to do with Loomis and the score, right? So you put those three things together, and you get this movie that they're still making shit now, right? They just finished Halloween Ends in 2022. They're working on something. I guarantee it. I've heard about the show that they're working on. It may not include Michael. Michael is not done. I would be willing to bet 99% of all the shit that I own, everything, to say that Michael's not done. He's not. right? He is not done. And for it to carry on like it did, I mean, we've got Halloween, the 50th anniversary of Halloween coming up in 2 years. That's half a century that a horror character is still badass as he was when he came out. Just as badass. How much merch do you think that Michael still sells? Anytime I go to a horror convention, there's a ton of Michael merch. There's Halloween shirts. Fuck, I've got Halloween shirts out the ass. I do, right? It's just everywhere. And to think that this is almost 50 years old. Unbelievable. Freaking unbelievable. Favorite slash of all time. Definitely This Is God. For me, this is God tier. There's few slashers for me that will appear and This Is God, and that's across the board, right? There's a ton of slashers that I love, but when you look that up there, when you put them into a tier chart, I think a lot of the ones that I love would be under great and good. Few slashers hit that God tier mark, right? But Halloween is definitely one of them for sure. All right, let me get into the chat. Let me see what you guys got going on here. Let's see. We will start with Russell right here, and he's saying, is there an iconic tier for Halloween 78? It is iconic. Dude, when you say This Is God, it might even go beyond iconic. Like, seriously. Like, there are very few movies that I would put, and This Is God, and Halloween is one of them for sure. Wayne said, Michael, I am on my cheap phone. Tier names list, please. Well, of course, dude. I have This Is God. I have great, I have good, I have okay, I have meh, and then I have trash. Okay, so as it goes down, we've got This Is God, great, good, okay, meh, and trash. Sorry, guys, I'm getting a little bit of a cold, which sucks. So if I'm a little sniffly, I apologize. Let's see. Teal's in the chat saying, what's up, guys? I just got done jamming to some MJ after watching the new film. I have to watch the new Mortal Kombat to determine if it's the best movie of 2026. Dude, let me tell you something cool about Michael real quick. And I'm talking about Michael Jackson, right? You brought up the movie. Thriller was the first album I ever owned in my entire life. And it was on cassette tape. That will always be one of my favorite albums of all time. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to it for sure. Melissa says, I love Halloween, but I love Scream more. Hey, man, Melissa, you like what you like. You like what you like. And I love that for you. I do. Hell yeah. Russell said, if I could read the names, Wayne, I'd tell you. Oh, so let me try to blow this up. Is this like really... Let's see. Oh, it's not going to let me blow it up this because I've got it set like this. My bad, guys. I figured that you guys would be able to see it up here. Teal is saying one of the best build-ups to a horror character I've ever seen. Yeah, dude, it is freaking fantastic. Russell says Obsession is going to be the movie of the year. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's going to be a tough one. A lot of horror right now is getting really good reviews. So they're doing a damn good job this year. Melissa said he was following Annie, Michael, but Annie started it with Michael saying speed kills. I tend to agree with you, Melissa. I actually did a video on that like 2.5, 3 years ago. It's up there. And it's under my what if. Yeah, I did a whole video on that. But I think I believe that as well. Val says, damn right you put the OG in the top tier. You already know. You already know. Wayne said, so many Michaels. Michael in the chat, Michael Myers, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Michael at Movies and Beyond, Michael Mania. That's fair. That is fair. Russell saying the general has spoken. Well, yes, she has. She has. Wayne says, human nature, smooth criminal, beat it, leave me alone, etc. That's a lot of Michael songs there. Patrick's in the chat saying, who first appeared in 1884? Was it Bigfoot? I'm going with Bigfoot. Because it's Patrick, I'm going with Bigfoot. And you know, Patrick, since I was looking for Bigfoot videos, my YouTube thread is just full of Bigfoot shit now. 100%. The algorithm has saw I searched at one time, and they want to show me everything ever made. Everything ever made on Bigfoot. Iconic 78, says Paula. Wayne said the Michael sequel will most likely be called Jackson. Shut up, Wayne. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm okay, man. I've got a headache, but it's just now starting. I'm in the early stages of it where I know I'm getting sick, and it sucks. It's like tomorrow's gonna suck. DJ Plays Favorites is in the chat saying hello all. What's up, DJ? I hope you're doing well. Teal says Halloween 78 is the best horror movie ever, in my opinion. The idea of an evil human form is terrifying, and this film is executed in a way that is unbeatable. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I still want to know if I was right about Bigfoot being the first to appear. In 1984. Was I right? Teal said, I've heard some people say Michael's in the movie of the year, so I had to hurry up and watch it. I see exactly why. Dude, I love those movies like that. I do. Russell says Annie got it because she called Michael a jerk and Speed Kills. Yeah, that's what happened. That is what happened. I caught a small 8-inch mouth bass and 15-inch muskie. Came home early because storms rolled through this morning and will again tomorrow. Oh, okay. That's cool. I hope you had fun. I hope you had fun. It was Bigfoot, the real OG. He's been here since, I'm assuming that's 1906. I'm hoping. Unless he's been here since 106. Then he's been here for a freaking minute. Ghostfoot first appeared in 1884. I stand corrected. All right, let's go ahead and bring up another Halloween. And I'm going to reach without. We'll go ahead and bring. We are bringing up Rob Zombie's Halloween. And here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to go to the chat first. I'll talk a little bit about this movie. I'll go to the chat, see where you guys are going to put it, and then I'll tell you whether I agree or disagree. Now, I know that here's how I see Rob Zombie's Halloween. Either people love it or they hate it. Like, there's very few in betweens. There's not a lot of people that are like, I could take it or leave it. You know, it's usually most Halloween fans I talk to are either this is God or this is trash. So when you find people that do, which actually I see two of them in the chat right now, that think it's an okay movie, you know, I can get behind that. I can get behind that for sure. Rob Zombie came through, right? And he did his Rob Zombie thing with the Halloween. with Halloween. And he kind of added his spin to it. There are things that I liked about this movie. There are things that I didn't like, right? But you know, in all fairness, it all depends on what you want out of your Halloween, right? If you are attached to the mystery and, you know, not knowing, and a lot of theater of the mind and a lot of stuff like that, you're not going to like this movie, right? Because he shows you everything, right? He makes Michael a serial killer. To whereas if you're into the mystery and you're into, you know, the man without a face, you know, you're the devil's eyes, the blackest eyes. Yeah, you're probably not gonna like this one too much. For me, I fall in between the okay and meh category with this. It's an acquired taste, right? It makes Michael very violent, very hulking, like a brute. to whereas the original Michael was more of it could be anyone. This could happen, this could be anyone. And it went to more of a, it's almost like the OG was just evil with a costume. To whereas Rob Zombie's version was just a brutal serial killer. And Michael showing, the backstory and not leaving that up to the audience, giving you an idea to where, he is doing stuff to animals and, he's got all the traits that you see in if you're into like true crime and, seen any serial killer movie ever, where the person grows up, that's what Michael is. So two totally different versions of Michael. I guess that, that leaves the Halloween series has something for everyone. But for me, this is an okay movie. I'll give it okay over meh. But let me see what you guys have in the chat here. Oh, okay. I see. Bigfoot is 106 years older than Michael. I got you. I see it. I definitely see it for sure. Russell saying this is okay. Rob Zombie's Halloween is okay. Val is not a fan. Not a fan whatsoever. Wayne is saying it's okay. And the Shape has entered the chat. James, what is up, my man? Happy Sunday, brother. Happy Sunday, brother. Yeah, Val, I think you came across. I think you got the point across there. Gina said this is God tier. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Wayne is saying it's a mixed bag. Okay. I got you. Russell said I saw the first Rob Zombie Halloween in theaters. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. James saying this one is God to me. Hell yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that one. We'll definitely get to that one. Michael said, I like Rob Zombie's Halloween, but I like Halloween 2 more. Not a popular opinion. So you like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 better than you did the first one. Oh, that's awesome, man. That is definitely awesome. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, I don't agree with it. But I like that you because it is not a popular opinion. That's freaking awesome. Teal said Rob Zombie's Halloween is fun, okay movie. I gotcha. The Shape is entered the chat. Yes, he is. He is here. He is definitely here. Teal said, like I said with 78, JC's John Carpenter's idea is unbeatable. So why even try? This was the right move to make for a remake, dude. And that's the thing about remakes, right? You want to try to keep a little bit of what made the movie special, but you want to make it your own. That's what I feel for a good remake to do. And, he did that. And, whether people like that or not, they like what his vision of Michael was or not, that's going to happen with any movie for sure. Let's see. Wayne is saying I mostly disliked that he was from that family dynamic was not great. But I think that added to the serial killer aspect of the angle that they were going for Rob Zombie's Halloween. I think that added to it, along with the other stuff. It's growing. Rob Zombie Halloween 2, one of the best in the series. All right. Let's see. Wayne says Rob Zombie is obsessed with making every family. He does have a certain direction with his movies. I will give him that for sure. Wayne says White Horse. No great great hospital scene never happened. AKA the cop out. It was AKA a cop out was a dream. I got you, and we'll definitely get to that. Wayne said the Silent Night Deadly remake is great. I think they did a great job. Matter of fact, Wayne, I literally have it sitting right here. I actually have it sitting right here. I enjoyed it. I did. I thought it was fun. I thought that they kept enough of the original, but added their own twist to it and made it interesting and fun. I thought it was a fun movie. Val says, I'm not for the knowing the why, so I strive. See that in me as well, right? Like I don't like to know why, because what you're gonna have in your head is always gonna be so much more dark, And I think that not knowing why adds to it, right? It's just like how, like you sit there and think about it, it's like, how did this kid go from this to this? Like, what happened? Like, what was so? And in Rob Zombie's Halloween, when he's in the bathroom, what was it? A rabbit? What was that? Gerbil? Something. Bird? I forget. Like, it's been a minute since I've seen it. You're like, oh yeah, I can clearly see how this is gonna go. Like, there is no why. Like, he fits every check. He got a checklist of a serial killer. Check, 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 check. All the signs for sure. All right, so I'm gonna put this in okay. That's where I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna stay out of the meh, because I think that there's other things that are gonna go in meh that I like Rob Zombie's Halloween better than. I do, for sure. Let's see. Eric says, what I love is it still doesn't explain why. Other kids grow up in the same environment and don't do what Michael did. There's always something in him. Teal said, how would you guys do a remake of the OG? That's definitely, that's a tough one. I don't know if I would want that task, right? I don't know. Like, if you are going to take on one of the most, regardless of whether you think it's the best slasher movie of all time or not, one of the most iconic slasher movies of all time, that's a tough job. If you remember that time frame, it started with Texas Chainsaw, right? 2003. To me, it knocked it out of the park, right? I love Texas Chainsaw 03. And then Platinum Dunes had that thing. They remade Friday the 13th. Then you got to throw Halloween in there, Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like they did a revisit. Some were successful, some weren't, right? And that's tough. And if you were to give me that job and say, Michael, you are now in charge of recreating or making a remake of John Carpenter's 1978 movie. Well, the things that I loved about that movie would be there. Now, would I have to bring it to current day? Would I have to do it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I would have a lot of questions if I had to do it. I definitely, because that's tough. That is tough. Eric says, no one wants to admit it, but Rob Zombie's Halloween saved the franchise from being straight to DVD. After Resurrection, Rob Zombie made a masterpiece. Well, shit, dude. I mean, is Rob Zombie's Halloween a masterpiece compared to Resurrection? I don't know. I don't think that it's a matter of no one wanting to admit it. I don't know if anyone would fully agree with it, but I do think it's better than Resurrection for sure. Anything could beat Resurrection. That's fair. That is fair. Although I will say, well, we'll get to it because it's going to be on the tier, and I want to talk about it. I do. I definitely do. All right, let me go ahead and bring this back up so I don't see exactly. See, that's being stupid. I don't know what this one is. Let's grab this one. Halloween Ends. We are going Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends. Where do we stand on Halloween Ends? All right. So when I initially saw this movie, I was not happy. I was not happy. I wanted to take my ball and go home. Right? I do. I did not like this movie at all, especially being the end of a trilogy. No. Now, the Corey Cunningham story. It was all right, but do you really need to insert that to be, wrapping up your story that you spent the first two telling? Now, granted, the first two movies were in the same night, and I doubt that you could really do a third movie in the same night, right? That'd be one long ass night. I mean, for real, that would be one freaking long ass night. I think when you end a trilogy, how do I want to word this? I don't think that it was a bad story. Okay. I don't. But I don't think that it belonged where it was put. Does that make sense? I think that there was a lot more that they could have done with this movie. I think that the Corey Cunningham story, if you're gonna bring a character of that magnitude, why wait till the third movie for us to? You got to really think, right? We already had. I almost wanted to use the word relationship. We already had a connection with characters from the first two, and then at the beginning of the finale, right? Because I look at a trilogy as the beginning, middle, and end, right? Like that's the way I've always looked at it, whether that be right or wrong. You added, you made the end of the story about something and someone else. Now, I don't think so. You look at the first three Halloween movies, right? And it did the same shit, right? Like Halloween 3 was its own shit, right? It was just its own shit. It didn't even have Michael in it. At least this one had Michael. Now, Michael was barely in it, and the story didn't really revolve around Michael. But the way that we were looking at this movie coming out, the way it was promoted to us, the advertisements for this movie were see Laurie Strode and Michael Myers battle for the final time. So I guess going into it selfishly, or I was deceived, that I was expecting a build up to the final battle between the OG final girl and the OG shape, right? Like this is going to be one for the ages. You know what I mean? Like this is going down, and it's going to be who's going to make it out alive. So when you see kind of Jamie Lee taking a back seat in this movie, you see Michael taking a back seat in this movie. And don't get me wrong, I really like the character of Allison, but there was so much build up from the other two movies, right? And like you thought after 2018 and Halloween Kills that Hawkins arc, like what the fuck happened to that? Like literally we find out in Kills, like I'm gonna be the one to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you're not. You're gonna talk about cherry blossoms, motherfucker. Like that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna sit on the porch and you're not gonna do shit. And then we get Michael and Laurie at the end, right? I would have definitely gone about this a lot different. I don't hate the Corey Cunningham story. I just don't feel like it belonged in the movie. Does that make sense to you guys? Like if this was a standalone movie, fine. Like, okay. And you know what you're getting, and it's not being pitched as something else. Yeah, I'm about it. But I don't know. The way they did this, I'm just not. I just wasn't feeling this. For me, it would go in the meh. But let me see if you guys change my mind. Let's see. Let's see what you guys got here. Let's see. Ends isn't beating Resurrection or H5, to be honest. James saying Resurrection is crap. Russell saying that Ends is good. Michael G is saying Halloween Ends. God save us all. Gina's saying meh on Ends. Val is saying Ends is okay. Teal is saying Halloween Ends is one of the worst movies of all time. I beg to differ. I do beg to differ on that. Trust me, there's some shit movies out there. I mean, we're talking about movies of all time. Like, Wayne is saying meh on Ends. Why should I care about a new character made the lead to end the trailer? That's exactly it. Exactly. James said Halloween Ends is dog. I hate the movie, especially the end. I got you. Lori was, yeah. Teal said brought back Allison and Lindsay just to do nothing with them. Same with Hawkins and Lori and Michael, the main attractions of your film. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely promoted as their final showdown. Yeah. Russell said, I like the opening, if that makes sense. Dude, I was having fun with the movie for about 30 minutes. I was digging it. Like, and you know, the oh shit moment at the beginning that you don't see coming. Like, yeah, that was I can dig that, you know, but as a whole, for sure, I definitely would have did things a lot different. Wayne says they made Allison an idiot in Ends. Yeah, she was definitely different. Teal said Corey was an uncalled for add-on character. Why not keep Cameron or Oscar for that? At least Cameron and Oscar had a build-up, right? We knew who they were. We didn't have to meet, try to form an attachment with, and then, yeah, it was too much for one movie. Definitely too much. Yeah, he was done for, James. Wayne is saying Hawkins was completely pointless in Ends. He was. I will give you that. 100%. 100%. Wayne said Ends felt like the writer went on to write Scream 6 and 7. I still haven't even seen Scream 7 yet. Russell said Michael Myers wasn't even in Ends long. No, he wasn't. But, you know, in all fairness, he wasn't in the first one very long either. It's just when he was there, like, it was very impactful, you know, but he had Loomis. Again, we're going back to the OG. When the show first started, he had Loomis. He had that hype man. Wayne said Cameron would have been so much better if he survived till Ends, and then a Corey Cunningham type character. I think so too. I do. Ends is legitimately the most flawed. It's the worst movies of the series had a baby, H5 and Resurrection and H6. And then they all had Ends. That's hilarious. They made Michael look so weak living in a sewer. The movie makes me want to puke. Yeah, I mean, they definitely. I think the thing that hurts most, probably if you are, you know, a huge Michael fan, is the fact that Corey full mounted him, took his mask, and said, "You're just a man in a Halloween mask," and then stole it from him. I mean, that was hard. That was hard to see. Wayne said Busta Rhymes' character should have been the DJ in Ends. Dangertainment. Teal says Ends has to be one of the worst movies of modern times. Paula loved Ends. That's awesome, Paula. That is awesome. Busta Rhymes as DJ Wayne and Michael Myers gets his revenge. I gotcha. Yeah, he with the band. Yeah, definitely. Ends is the most flawed Halloween film, legitimately. I don't know, dude. I don't know. You can look at 6 when you want to talk about flawed, like that 5. Like, yeah. Speaking of which, I am going to put Ends in meh for me because, to be honest, I'd rather watch Rob Zombie's Halloween than I would Halloween Ends, for sure. All right, let's go ahead and bring up. Let's change tones a little bit here. Let's go ahead and bring up Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Let's bring that up. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, for me, I like it a little more than I did in the 80s, but not enough to think that it's good. Does that make sense? I don't hate this movie. I definitely do not love this movie. But it can be fun, right? This can be a fun movie. I like the idea that it's detached from the other Halloween movies, and that later on we don't find that Michael has a silver shamrock, like in his mask or something. I like that it's detached. I'm happy with that. Now, growing up, Halloween 3 comes out and you're expecting to see Michael. You're in for a disappointment. You are definitely in for it. So Halloween, changes directions. John Carpenter's original vision, for Halloween was to be a different story every year, for Halloween. That's the way that he saw it. But so many people liked Michael. They made Halloween 2. And then they go back to this. I think, if I'm not mistaken, John Carpenter agreed to help with Halloween 2 if Halloween 3 could be this way. And it didn't do well. It didn't do well at all. But I am noticing that now there seems to be a cult following for Halloween 3. And there's a bunch of people that love this movie. Yeah. Me, I'm kind of in between on it. I could watch it every now and then. It's definitely not on the list. Like when I review all Halloween movies, I usually keep this out. I don't think it should be. I think it should just be called Season of the Witch. Drop Halloween 3. And then it's not even in this conversation. And you're not even comparing it to Michael, right? That's what I think about this movie. Let's see. Russell is saying they had bullies in the original as well. They sure did. Knocked Tommy Doyle's pumpkin on the ground. That was bullshit. Poor bastards. Teal Kid said, I'm purist. It's the worst one. All right. James is saying it's okay. Russell's saying it's okay. Wayne is saying good. Even better if they drop the Halloween name in the title. Yeah, just call it Season of the Witch. Just call it Season of the Witch and it'll be fine. Russell said, in my opinion, Halloween Season of the Witch can be a standalone movie. Tom Atkins is a legend. Dude, Tom Atkins, he's great. He is great, for sure. Teal said, it's fine. Pretty solid film on its own. Right. I think that, what we run into, the issues with this is it doesn't fit the franchise. Where's the man in the white mask? Where is he? It's what I wanted, but I didn't get it. It makes me mad. That's exactly what happened. I mean, that's how I felt. Wayne says Atkins is awesome. Michael G said Halloween 3. Michael G and Halloween 3. That rhymes. Don't know if I have an opinion on this one. Just know that there is no Michael Myers. There is not. There is definitely not. Teal said, if any movie needs a remake, it's this film. Do you think anyone would go see it? Would I go see it? Probably not. Honestly, I don't. I think what makes this movie tolerable for me is like Atkins. I don't think that. I honestly don't think I would go. I mean, I may catch it on Tubi like a year later. But I don't think, when I think of all the movies that could be remade, I don't see Halloween. No, not for me. Not for me. Russell's like, no, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Stupid Silver Shamrock song makes me go crazy. I can't get it out of my head. That was kind of the point of it, right? That was the kind of the point. For me, I'm putting this one in meh. To be honest, it's like right here. I think I'd rather watch it more than Ends. Maybe. I don't know. I'd rather watch Rob Zombie's Halloween over this. I'm going to put it in meh. That's where I'm going to go with it. It's just me. That's just me. Teal said depends on the premise, casting, and director. Yeah, but it's like, do we Do we need it though? Like, if you're gonna make another Halloween movie, put Michael in it. For the love of God. Actually, I think that the series is supposed to be. I don't know if it has to do with Halloween 3. But from what I am understanding, whether it's true or not, that Michael's not supposed to be in it. So maybe they're going the route of, a different story with every season or whatever. I don't know. Russell saying it's totally different from the other Halloween movies, and witchcraft is in the mix. Happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. All right, let's go ahead and pull another one up. This is going to be let's do this one. Halloween 5. Where do you stand on Halloween 5? Oh, I've spoke at lengths about how I feel about Halloween 5, and that I don't think that's ever going to change. I honestly don't. I think that Halloween 5 is the most disappointing Halloween movie in the franchise. When I say disappointing, you had the buildup of Halloween 4, right? And you were given Halloween. Why? Why would you do this? Like, you could have done so much, but you didn't. This is this Halloween 5, definitely the most disappointing, right? Definitely the most disappointing Halloween movie. You had the whole thing laid out from Halloween 4. Halloween 4 was a cliffhanger ending, and you did nothing with that. Instead, you made it you now, I know you're going to say that Halloween 4 started the Thorn trilogy, but it didn't exist until Halloween 5. I don't even know where to begin with this. Like, there's so much that's just running through my brain right now. The way you deviated from the story. I mean, do I bring up the house? Do I bring up the mask? Do I bring up the fact that, do I bring up the fact that Jamie was mute through 3/4 of this movie? Do I bring up the fact that you killed the final girl from 4 in the first 15 minutes of this movie? Replaced her with Tina? I mean, there is so, and then you made Michael have buddies, right? He's in the prison cell with his mask on. Homeboy comes in with a Tommy gun. What are we doing here? How did we go from 1978 to Halloween 5? How did we get here? Unbelievable. You guys can say it's blasphemy when I like the Friday the 13th franchise more. But man, I mean, I know 5s weren't great across the board, but Nightmare 5 was terrible. Halloween 5 was terrible. Friday 5 wasn't great, but I like it better than Halloween 5 and Nightmare 5. Oh, Halloween 5. You remember the cops when they're walking up and you got the music, the little clown music, the dog running down the sidewalk? You remember when Michael's standing underneath the tree and he's kicking rocks underneath it, just waiting for the director to say action? Do you remember when Michael cried? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? This movie's god awful. In my opinion, definitely the most disappointing Halloween movie, for sure. It's like when you get to like Resurrection and stuff like that. Like, didn't have a lot of hopes for it. Halloween 5, I had some hopes for it. Definitely meh or trash for me. I'm gonna have to think about it. All right. Teal is not a fan. Not a fan of 5. I am not a fan of 5 either. Russell says, I agree. I agree, Michael. Why kill off the greatest final girl on Halloween? Yeah, that makes no sense. Why'd you do that? There was so much. You built so much in 4 of the relationship and the relationship of Jamie and Rachel, just to throw it all away at the beginning and then have her be replaced by Tina. Why? Like you had so much left there. I mean, the whole direction of the movie was bad. And I think that the only saving grace of that movie was Loomis, and he was out of his freaking mind. I mean, he was out of his mind. Oh, what a terrible movie. Teal said ends was so shitty it stopped up the toilet. Wasn't great. Leave her alone. The clown shoes noise with the cops. Lame. Yeah, the burn. Right, yeah, totally. It was bad. It was very bad. Jerry is saying, check out Movies and Beyond on Patreon. Only $1. It provides the link. Yeah, if you want to support me outside of YouTube, you can do so over on Patreon for only $1 a month. It is there. Teal said, Michael crying, killing Rachel, Mike floating down the river, got going with Jamie as a secondary shape. The Myers Victorian looking house, the man in black, the clown cops, the hermit scene. There's a lot there. There is definitely a lot there for sure. James says Halloween 5 was good in time. I got to like the mask. I love my custom one signed by Don Shanks. Hey man, that's awesome. Wayne says Halloween 5, man. No offense to Laurie Strode, but I love Rachel more. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Michael Myers is outside. Hell yeah. All right. Sorry guys, but this one is I'm trashing it. I'm sorry. I'm trashing it. That's just me though. That is definitely me. I have to make me feel. I was wondering if I would get something in here that was like, you know what, you might be able to move it up to meh. You might be able to. Oh, I can't. I can't. All right, let's go ahead and grab another. I'm not going to do that one right away. Let's go ahead and see where you guys feel on Halloween H2O. It's a little change of pace from everything. Well, one of the 6 timelines from this movie. From this series, anyway. All right, Halloween H2O. For me, this is it was better than the last couple movies we looked at. let me just say it like that. Like it was when you look at some of these other movies, in comparison, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Let me play devil's advocate here. Let me talk about what I didn't like about this movie. Right? I think that one of the things you need for a good Halloween movie is atmosphere. Right? And I don't think that this had much atmosphere. How many different masks were used in this movie? Was it 4? Counting the CGI mask? I don't feel like they ever locked Michael down. And I think that it had epic possibilities, but they weren't followed through. They weren't followed through. Like, can you imagine? Let me throw this out there. The scene where Michael and Laurie are reunited through that window. Could you imagine how awesome that would be if you had the OG mask? Like, how great would that have been? It would have been a more defining moment. But I think Michael's look takes me out of this movie a lot. And I think the atmosphere has a lot to do with it. I think that this movie fell along the lines of like a Scream or I Know What You Did Last Summer type of movie that kind of that's what it felt like to me. That's me playing devil's advocate. Now, I mean, there are still some questions. Like, how did Michael get gas driving from Illinois to California? But it's fine. We're gonna let all that go, right? Because you need to suspend belief for some of these, right? Here's what I loved about the movie. Okay, I loved Jamie's showdown with Michael at the end. Absolutely loved it. When she sent the kids off, broke the glass, got the axe out, you know, busted the little like key coder door opener thing, and was like, "It's just me and you. Let's go. I'm tired of this shit. Let's go." And she starts screaming his name. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Right. The end. Right. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen this yet. She cuts his head off. I would have been fine with that ending Halloween, with that being it. I mean, it doesn't matter. We'll just go into another timeline, right? I think that would have been cool. When it happened, it was kind of like a, oh shit moment. But it's just like, yeah, I can get behind that. Lori frees her demons. She gets rid of Michael. At the end. I'm going to put this under good. I think this is a good movie. I do. I don't think that it's great, but I think that it's good. And it is definitely one of those movies that I can go back to. Another thing that I absolutely loved about this movie was a cameo. It was Janet Leigh standing by her psycho car, talking about a mother's instinct. Absolutely love that. I love Psycho, so I totally dug that. I thought it was good. But yeah, I'm going to put H2O under good for me. And I'm, not everybody's going to agree with all these, of course. I get it. But let's see what you guys got. Let's see. Paula said, loving this list. I'm glad you're loving it, Paula. And I'm sorry I'm not more animated, guys. If you can't hear, my cold is getting worse as I'm going, which sucks, but it's all right. I will finish the show and we will get through this. Michael G says it's great. Teal is saying, I love Tina, though. Oh, dear God. Dear God. Wayne is saying Michael Myers still needs to go to space. It would be out of this world. I see what you did. Russell is saying this is God. Wayne is saying H2O is good. Bala said Josh Hartnett is God. Teal said H2O is fine. Meh, but fine. Okay, the story is solid, but the portrayal and interpretation of Michael is not it. The scream tracks, the masks, no. Gotcha. Russell said it belongs with 78. James says it's great. Jerry said H2O is good. Teal said H2O story carries it significantly. It does. It definitely does, for sure. Russell says Josh Hartnett is better in The Faculty. I watched The Faculty probably like a year ago. And it had been years since I've seen it. It's definitely not bad. Paula said love the cast. Yeah, it did have a good cast, for sure. Teal said the dude who plays Michael in this film, easily the worst. Like, WTF, dude, can't even do a sit-up. The mannerisms and everything are off. I give props for that one-arm stunt, though. That is that Michael lowering himself down. That's iconic, man. That is definitely iconic. James says the mask Michaels was wearing in the window scene was ugly. I had that shitty ass mask. I got so sick of it, I threw it in the closet. H2O feels like a fan film rather than Halloween. I don't know, man. I just think it was a product of its time. I think that all 90s horror movies kind of felt like H2O. It had that Scream, Urban Legends, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Faculty feel to it. It was just kind of the way that they were making those horror movies then. Russell said Jamie Lee Curtis's real mom in real life as well. Jamie Lee Curtis's real mom in real life as well as, oh yeah, Yeah, Janet Leigh. Yes, of course. Of course, of course. James said Michael would look awesome in a chrome mask in space. All right. That would be definitely different. Yeah, Janet Leigh. Yeah, she's I love Psycho. All right, guys. This is one. It's a little tougher for me. Halloween 2. We're jumping into Halloween 2. Some people say it's the closest thing to the original. Halloween 2 for me, I love the beginning and I love the end of this movie. I love a bunch of the kills in this movie. Um I think that it had some really good kills. It has some memorable characters. But I feel like there's just something off with the pacing in this movie. Um, I feel like there's long stretches in this movie where and this may be blasphemy to Halloween fans, but I am a Halloween fan. I'm entitled to my opinion. But I think that it's got a lot of boring stuff, like a lot of like um empty space. For me anyway, right? It like I said, great beginning, great ending. I don't think the score hits as hard in this one either. I think for me, this is a good Halloween movie, but I don't think it's great, and I don't think it's God. Um, James, all right. It's hard when a lot of. See, I want to see how I word this. I think that a lot of the things that worked great in Halloween 2 were carryovers from Halloween 1. I do. I don't think that it stood very well on its own. Um, and sequels are like that, right? Sequels are definitely like that. But I think about one scene in particular, where she's on the floor, on the ground by the car. Loomis and the nurse go in the building, and the cop go in the building. She screams, and then she runs to the door. And, she's trying to open the door, and Michael's coming, right? It just feels like it was the Doyle house all over again with Michael coming across the street. He's getting closer. He's getting closer. She's pulling the door, and then she gets in right before Michael gets there. Now, granted, they did change it because Michael walked right through the glass, right through the freaking glass, and that was cool. But I don't know. There's just something with this movie to where I just feel like the pacing is off for it. Like it's not, I mean, granted, it's not going to be better than the first one, right? The first one was freaking epic. Blood Tears was great. The firewalk was freaking great. The hot tub kill was freaking great. Stabbing the nurse and lifting her up, that was freaking great. I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's a good sequel. But I do put it there with H2O. Like if I'm looking at movies, I put it right up there with it. But if you want that OG feel, the beginning of it has that OG feel, like it's close. Like you got the Myers house, you got the people that are all pissed off there, and then you got what's his name getting hit by the freaking car. But yeah, I mean, Russell, that yes, it's a decent sequel. That's perfectly worded. It is. Russell says it was stump double in the H2O with the arm maneuver. Oh, it had to be. Yeah, I guarantee that. Teal said if they kept the H6 mask from the opening and brought back Michael A. Lerner as the shape for H2O. Okay. Wayne says Halloween 2 is great. Russell says Halloween 2 is good. James. Val says that H2 is a great sequel. James says Halloween 2 is great. Wayne said, my biggest issue was 2. It becomes more of a bloody slasher than a horror thriller like the first. That's fair. Jerry says H2 is great. Teal said H2 used to be my favorite sequel. Shit, my favorite film in the series growing up. And now I look at it. It's still good, but the family tie-in, the wash scenes with the hospital ruined the momentum. It just had, for me, it had a pacing problem for me. But I am going to put it in good because it is a good sequel. It is. As the film goes on, it gets boring and becomes some of a slow burn, and with wasted scenes, it brings it down some spots for me, especially the family twist. That's fair. That is fair. Michael G says, "This is what are y'all talking about? This is God. This movie's God." All right, let's move on. Let's get moving. This is always an interesting one to talk about. Let's talk about Halloween Kills. Let's talk about Halloween Kills. It's like, do we start with the good or do we start with the bad in Halloween Kills? That's tough because there's a lot of both. Let's start with the things I didn't like about Halloween Kills. The story's not great. It's not great. I felt like this movie is like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make Michael Myers a badass. And fuck everything else. The more I watch this movie, the more issues I have with it story-wise. Because I think when I first saw this movie, I was like, hell yeah. Like, hell freaking yeah. It is a very fun movie. It is. And it's probably, I'll be honest with you. It's very rewatchable for me. The flashback scene is fantastic. Okay. Like, that's probably the closest I've felt to the original Halloween. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely freaking amazing. I loved every minute of it. One of the famous things about this movie too is the firefighting scene, right? Comes out of the burning building. He goes nuts. Destroys all of them. Why were there no cops there? How often does a fire happen without cops? It's just the fire department. Cops are like, oh, we got dead people all over the place. You guys got this. That's what I told myself in my head, right? We're cleaning up a mess in Haddonfield. You guys got it. At least that's what I told myself. I think you get a very physical and imposing Michael without losing a lot of the shape. The problem was with this, is it me or does this movie just die completely when they get to the hospital and they think the other guy's Michael, and you get this long drawn out scene of him running through and the mob chasing him? That's where this, like, literally, if I'm watching this movie, I usually get up at that part and I go to the bathroom, or I make a snack or something, or hell, even look at my phone. Like, it's not the best, but I do think this might be the most badass mask out of any of the Halloween movies, right up there with the original. I think that it is badass. I do. And I'm not even going to bring up Evil Dies Tonight because I know that you guys are already doing it in the comment section. You know, that was out of control. Absolutely out of control. Old Huckleberry. Let's see what you guys got to say. Magic movie with Anthony Hopkins is getting a reboot. No, interesting. James says Evil Dies Tonight. Jerry saying the first 45 minutes was great. Hell yeah. Teal said Kills is the most fun in the series. It's a good time. Russell says Halloween Kills is good. James says Kills is great. Teal said, I just don't like the scene where they thought that the guy was Michael. There's no way. I remember when someone said replace the guy with Nick Castle for a meta moment. Now imagine that. Yeah, that would have been crazy. Hell, I think Ends dropped the ball on the older guy that was under the bridge that was like, I'm Michael Myers. That should have been Nick Castle for sure. Kills is good for sure. James says it wouldn't matter. He would have cops do. Maybe. I don't know. At least they would have had guns. But I guess you couldn't do that to Michael that early, right? Wayne said Kills equals meh. Michael is great. Most of the other characters are idiots. The stupid slogans die tonight. Laurie is missing too much. The mob scene in the hospital is dumb too. Yeah. I can agree with all of that. I can agree with it. Russell says the cops couldn't stop Michael Myers anyways. Yeah, well, they had guns. I mean, how many cops would we? 2? 3? Maybe we'd get the Halloween 5 walk away with the music. It would have been great. Teal said Kills is top 5. I'm Michael Myers. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to put it in good. I put it right up there with those. Story lacking, but it is a fun watch. It is. It's one of my go-tos. I think it's because it's easy and it's not, you don't really have to pay that much attention to it, and you can still have a good time watching it. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go with that. Halloween Kills. Teal says, I also love how Kills brings the characters back and actually does something with them. To a degree. That's fair. That is fair. We just did one of David Gordon Green's. Let's go ahead and get this one out the way. Let's go ahead and bring up Halloween Resurrection. I put that where it needs to go on my list anyway. I'm sure that there are fans out there that truly enjoy this movie. But Halloween Resurrection, Halloween Resurrection is an unnecessary movie. I felt like that timeline should have ended with the H2O. I think that should have ended that timeline. I felt like this was, first of all, how are you going to kill Jamie off in the first, what do you say, 5-10 minutes of this movie? We lost Jamie. Is this, is that what happened? This movie is god awful. This is not a fun watch for me. I will watch it probably once a year just so I can stay up on it, so I can talk about how much I dislike it. No, I try to watch all of the Halloween movies, all the Friday movies, all the Nightmare movies at least once a year, right? I do have my favorites that I go back to more often than that, but I do try to watch them. I think it's probably been about a year since I've seen that one. I'm probably due again to watch it again, but we'll see what happens. But this, I mean, I feel like I don't even need to say anything because, you guys are going in the chat. The one thing I will bring up is Busta Rhymes' Kung Fu kick of Michael and him flipping out the window, or when he punked him out right by the stairwell. That was just god awful. If someone said, Michael, how can you make this movie better? I would probably say, don't make it. End it with H2O. Go out on a high note. But you guys know it's money. It is money. And to capitalize on that, that's that format of filming as well. Oh, God, the movie's terrible. It's my least favorite Halloween movie. It is. Definitely my least favorite Halloween movie. Wayne is saying it needs a slogan. Die tonight, cut. The slogan is cut out completely in the mob hospital scene, cut too. Yeah. Russell says Halloween 2018 is the best, in my opinion. James says I'm the one in original shape. Don't you forget it. Russell says Dangertainment. Meh. What is this? This sucks. Teal says Resurrection is one of the funniest movies of all time. I watched this as a comedy. Michael G says Busta Rhymes needs to stay with rapping and stay out of Halloween movies. Let's not get me started on this movie. You know, I think that the general consensus when you talk about Halloween Resurrection, it's just like it's one of exhaustion almost, where you just are just like, nah, I don't need to say all this again. You know why. You know why it's bad. Let's not do that again, please, for the love of God. Russell says, is this the curse of Michael Myers or Resurrection? This is Resurrection. It is right here. Although some of that can be applied to that movie as well. Wayne says, man, Busta Rhymes is the premise, save it from trash. Busta Rhymes and the premise, save it from trash. Not for me. Resurrection is super bad, but not like everyone says. H5 and ends are even worse. No, I don't know. No. And you know how I feel about Halloween 5. Halloween 5 is much more disappointing than Resurrection. But I think that Resurrection is worse. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Not yet. No, I have not. I still think it's better than Ends and Rob Zombie 2. Oh, God. H6 producer's cut is worse than Resurrection. That's a different topic. Dude, that's probably an entire show right there. Dear God. When Buster learns Kung Fu by watching Bruce Lee. Funniest shit ever. Yeah, dude. Yeah. 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 Michael cries in Halloween 5. Resurrection is better. No, he might have been crying after when Busta Rhymes told him to get the hell out of there and he put his head down and walked away. You know, he cried in 5, right? You never want to see him cry. But to get punked out, in what universe is that okay? It's not. It's not. We're talking about the shape. No. No. Russell, fun fact, Busta Rhymes always knew Kung Fu. That's cool. I love his sounds too. Wah, wah. My boy float down the river in H5. He was like he was in a water park floating down a slide. It was cool. Oh God, it was terrible too. James is saying, I love when Buster poked Michael in the head. Oh God, you let him have it. This Michael was also crying while watching Halloween 5. That's the best movie, dude. I was crying when I watched both of these. Russell said that was a fake cry in Halloween 5. I don't see Michael as like, I'll fake her out cry. All right. What's next? I'm sorry, I can't put it anywhere else. Let's try to bring up the mood here. Halloween 4. We are doing Halloween 4. Halloween 4. All right. This one for me, it's great. I really like Halloween 4. Not a huge fan of the mask. Still have a lot of questions. You know what I mean? I do. I do still have a lot of questions, but I really like Halloween 4. Halloween 4 is definitely top 4 for me. I think this is a great movie. I think it's good. We get the introduction of Jamie Lloyd. which is introducing Danielle Harris. I think she did fantastic. Rachel's character, Ellie Cornell playing Rachel. Fantastic. Their dynamic together was amazing. It made you care about the characters that Michael was chasing. So you wanted them to get away. You felt for the characters. And I think that's, one of the reasons why I hated Halloween 5 so much. There are a lot of things I can look past for you, Teal, like Michael floating down a river or having a horrible mask. But the dynamic and the story that was built in 4, it's what makes me hate 5 so much. They did so many things right with this movie. So many things. Michael was the shade. And they left things to the imagination, right? The police station. You don't have a police force, right? Why? Because Michael came in there and destroyed it. And I love that they didn't show it. That leaves, your mind to come up with, what did that look like? What was it like? And I'm sure that I look at it a certain way. Michael G looks at it another way. Teal looks at it another way. James looks at it another way. Russell looks at it another way. Wayne looks at it another way. In your mind, what did that look like? And I guarantee the badass version of, what you wanted it to look like is what it did, because they left it up to you. And all you got to see was the aftermath. All you got to see is the aftermath of that. And I thought that was brilliant. Then you have little things like you have Bucky, you have Michael throwing him on that was great. The final chase scene at the end, right? Fantastic. Then there are things that I would change, like when they're in the school and Michael's got different color mask on. It's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Loomis pulls up to the gas station. He gets out. You can see the shadows of the microphone boom and everything on the ground below Loomis. It's just like, we could have did better. We could have did better than that. Michael in the rap in the gas station standing there, and Loomis gets that dialogue with him, right? Leave those people alone, Michael. Leave those people alone. So good. So freaking good. I absolutely love this movie. I do. I think it's great. That's where I want to put this movie. I want to go through the chat and see what you guys got here. Let's see. Teal, it's not like Buster slammed him down and took his mask like Corey Cunningham and made him a puppet on top of that. That's fair. After that scene, it ends where they kill the doctor, and Michael stabs the girl to reminisce of Bob Kill. The next cutaway scene is Corey on his scooter, and you see arms around him. And I was just expecting that to be Michael. It was Allison, but it's just did Corey give Michael a ride after that? Did he jump on the back of that scooter? I'm sorry. That's for another time. But it still makes me laugh. Oh my God. Michael almost killed Rhymes in the ending, though. H4 is great. Yeah. Okay. He almost killed Michael in the ending, though. But how did Michael die? How did Michael die in Resurrection? He died from a wire shock to the ball sack. Okay. That's what happened. That's how we're going to end the shape right there. The original run, we're going to end the shape. We're going to have 2 wires put on his ball sack, and we're going to electrocute him. And that's how you do it. If Loomis knew that in H1, it would have been over already. 2 wires to the ball sack is how you kill Michael Myers. Got it. God awful. This is God. Yeah, it's Halloween 4. I can see it, man. I can definitely see it. Paula, he should have kicked Buster's. But I agree, Paula. I do. Teal said H4 is the best sequel, in my opinion. Awesome from start to finish. There is no slow burns, no wasted scenes, unlike H2 and H18. There's a lot going on there. Definitely. I will disagree a little bit with some wasted scenes, but not too many. Not too many at all. Justice for Rachel, top tier. Hell yeah. Hell freaking yeah. James is saying that water he was floating in must have been toxic. That's why his mask looks like Nicolas Cage. It did change quite a bit. Definitely did. H4, great. I have it on VHS and DVD. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Michael G saying Daniel Harris also looks fantastic. Oh yeah. Teal says only downside to the film is Michael, the mask, and the football player build. Yeah, like the shoulder pads at the end. I wasn't digging that. Before she hit him with the car, for sure. Paula saying love to all the mods. Well, thank you, Paula. Thank you very much. We have great mods on this channel. We're the best. James said Halloween 4 was good. Hated the mask. Hell yeah. Best line by Dr. Loomis. You don't have a police force. Yeah, it was good. It was definitely good. Actually, I think that one of his best lines actually was like the only thing I liked about Halloween 5. And it's in the intro, where he's talking to Meeker. I prayed that he would burn in hell. Then I knew that hell would not have him. I butchered it a little bit, but oh, so freaking good. Teal says, what were they feeding that man for 10 years for him to look like that? Oh, I don't know. Maybe no one can stop him, Loomis. That's fair. Or you don't know what death is. Halloween 2. I've been trick-or-treated to death tonight. You don't know what death is. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, so that's great. Wayne is saying H4 mask looks awesome on the poster and physical media cover. In the movie, it's horrible and completely different. Yeah, dude, what a shit way of marketing. I mean, I don't know if it's a shit way of doing it because it got people in, but very noticeable right off the rip. Like, hey, something's different. H4 is great. The real best sequel in the series. It's good. It is good. Michael Myers, the mime in H4. He does look like a little bit of a mime. Dr. Sartain was the other doctor like Dr. Loomis. James, the mask in 4 made Michael look like he was having trouble taking his shit. You're a trip. You're a trip. Mike didn't die. His eyes opened at the very end. Then he made a weird little sound afterwards. Yeah, he had to make a sound. Get fucking shocked in the balls. Make a sound too. Good God, man. Good God. Rob Schneider does call it the Deuce Bigelow 3000. Why would they go from Captain Kirk mask to Nicolas Cage? I think it had something to do with the rights to the Shatner mask, to be honest. But I don't know the full details. Maybe I can look into it. What's done is done, man. It's like, oh, could have did better than that. I mean, good God, man. Good God. All right, let's see what we got next. We only have a few left to go. I'm going to throw 18 up there. I absolutely love 18. I love 18. You guys know. This is where the bias comes in. This is where the part of the show where Michael's going to put it where he wants to, and it's going to be very high up there. It's going to go in great for me. It's going to be right there with Halloween 4. I absolutely love Halloween 2018. I do realize it has its problems, but to me, if I feel like it went back to basics for what made me love slashers, and it brought it into a modern era. I think it did a really good job of that. I think once this movie starts at the beginning, it feels. I think that I always talk about this, and I'll bring it up one more time because we're talking about Halloween 2018. Couple things. One of the best theater experiences of my life, right? One of them, not the best. I've talked about my best one on here, but it was up there. After we got the 2 remakes, They come back with Halloween 2018. And how often do you get a remake and then they go back to the original like run? I mean, seriously. When that music popped in the theater, I was like, we're back, baby. Like, we are back. You know, there was cheering. In the theater I was in, there was cheering, and I was one of the people clapping. Say something. Old school music hits. You're back. Like, it's feeling like OG Halloween, and I can dig it. Now, granted, it does have a few pacing issues here and there, and it does have a few issues with the story. It's fine. You know, it doesn't bother me because I think that the things that it does well make up for it. And it makes me want to watch this one over and over again. It's the closest thing to the original to me. And I think that's why I love it so much. Michael's no longer the crazy brother. He's no longer the crazy uncle. He's no longer, a cult member. He's no longer, no, dude. He's back to being the shape. You look at the original Halloween. The only thing that was different was he got caught, right? So the way Carpenter ended the original was the boogeyman's still out there. He's still out there. This one, he gets caught, right? And they show us in Kills how that happened. But he spent time in a mental institute or Spring Grove, for X amount of time. But I think that it was fantastic. I absolutely love this movie. I think the kills are great. I think the score is freaking unbelievable. I do. I love this score. Bringing in the shape Hunts Allison and hearing that for the first time, it's just like, oh my God, like this is killer. The Mask. They killed The Mask to me. I think that they OG Mask, they aged it up. I think that it looked fantastic when he put it on for the first time and he's shutting the lid on the trunk of the car. So freaking good. So freaking good. Hey, good night, Val. I hope you have a great night. But yeah, I'm putting this under great. I am. I think that it's absolutely fantastic. I do. Russell saying Halloween 2018 is top tier. Hell yeah, man. Hell freaking yeah. Teal, H18 is good. The best after H4. The best Michael since the OG. Basically a repeat, but modern edition. Oh yeah. I think Michael would have looked awesome in a white Spock mask. Oh, good God, man. No, you can't change it, James. It can't be done. It can't be done. I love how they remove the sibling angle. Yeah, me too. 100%. Absolutely love the fact they took that away. James says Halloween 2018 is God. Michael said yes, God. Wayne says 2018 is okay. Most of the men are written as complete morons, overrated, let down by the writing. Good kills though. I got you. Well, you didn't like peanut butter on my penis? That didn't do it for you. No, but I have it in great. I don't think it's as good as the OG. I think it sets the OG sets the standard. That's why I don't think that it can go to God tier. But I do think it's the closest thing. I do. So if we were doing a number ranking, more than likely, I'm going OG 18, Halloween 4. Those are going to be my top 3 for sure. All right, let's get this over with. Let's go ahead and do this. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. All right, Wayne, you have a good one, buddy. Great to see you, my man. Great to see you. Halloween 2. The only thing that I thought was any good about this movie was the dream sequence. I know that a lot of people love it. They love the focus on trauma, but I will say this, right? The acting, Brad Dourif in this was fucking fantastic. It was. He was fucking amazing. The hospital scene, fucking amazing. That's all I got. Really, that's all I got. there were so many things in this movie that um it drove me absolutely crazy. I wish it was better. I do. I I wish it was better. I hate the fact that he spoke. Um, I wasn't feeling the white horse stuff. Where I know there are some people that are. Um, it's just a lot. I think that I understand the trauma that they were trying to communicate through with this. Um, but even for me, it just became a bit much at times. I did love the fact that Margot Kidder was in this, and she came back, and she was the psychiatrist for Lori. I think Scout did a great job acting in this one. I think Danielle was good. Um, but I mean, the story wise itself, I just lost interest. I did. I lost a lot of interest in this one, and it's not because I didn't understand the message that it was trying to get across. I understood it. I just didn't like it, and those are two totally different things. Um, Coming off of the original Rob Zombie Halloween, I didn't like that one that much either. So it's the connection. It wasn't there for me. My connection with Danielle Harris came from Halloween 4 and not the first Halloween. I mean, hell, we don't see Laurie Strode until after an hour into the movie from the first Halloween. I think it's like, well, it's right before an hour. It's like 55 minutes in. It's absolutely great. No time for that connection to be built or that love for the character. There's not. And for me, it just didn't hit. It didn't hit at all. 100%. Russell saying, I love the closet scene in 2018. Hell yeah, man. I just hated that they gave it away in the trailer. That sucked. That absolutely sucked. Michael G is saying great. Wayne is saying enjoy, y'all. Russell saying meh. Jerry saying the best part of RZ2 was the credit scene. Maybe. It depends on what you say. Michael G said Rob Zombie shit this movie out, and it was a good shit. I'm glad you liked it, buddy. Remake bracket is better than OG bracket. I can get behind that. I could say that. I think Brad Dourif was. I mean, you're looking at like, I mean, OG bracket, there wasn't a lot there. Everyone's entitled to one good scare. But it is nostalgia though. It's not like he had to act like Brad Dourif did in that. We didn't even really see him deal with Annie's death. So, for sure. James said, love the first 20 or so minutes before I hate it, especially after he ate the raw dog meat. Yeah. James didn't like the white horse. Remake Laurie is just as good as the OG, and this version of her is the best performance in the series. Dude, it just got redundantly annoying. Like they communicated the trauma, but yet they were just like pushing and pushing and pushing, and it was just like, oh my god. And then she got taken, and then there was a horse, and then she could see. Oh god, it was just god awful. It's between this or H4 with the best acting and casting. See, that's hard to say, and here's why I'll say that, right? They were given more opportunity, right? So Annie and you got to think how much more that's tough. How much more was given to them, like situational acting, right? Like you saw Annie in the OG, and her job was just to babysit and to get stuck in the laundry room. versus, what Danielle Harris had to do, for that movie, right? So Annie's death was very simplistic, to where you have to remember John Carpenter wasn't making the OG a gory movie. Like there was a lot more for that Annie to do, from an acting standpoint. So it's kind of tough to compare, right? Because a Rob Zombie movie is a Rob Zombie movie. There's going to be different situations for them to act in, right? And if you're more than likely, you're probably right, but you have to look at, the situations that the actors were put in. Like, do you think that if Jamie Lee Curtis played a victim of trauma like she was, that she couldn't act that trauma as good as Scout? I bet she could, but that wasn't given to her, right? So the opportunity to show that wasn't there. So that's the way I look at it. Just it's a tough question because you're comparing things that are in different, like you're comparing different eras of films that are focusing. Yes, they're both Halloween, but they're the way that the movie is not the same. Like they're not the same. It's crazy. The Exorcist 3 was Brad Dourif's best performance, but he's good in anything. Yeah, Brad Dourif is amazing. James says, how come there's so many girls named Linda in horror movies? Dude, Tina. Tina is the name that sticks out to me. There are so many Tinas. There's a lot of freaking Tinas, too. I don't know, man. I might have even laughed when I said it. Yeah, Tina. There it is. Or Tina. Yes, dude. There's a Tina in freaking everything. If I make a slasher movie, I'm going to put a Tina in there. It's going to happen. You kind of have to. I don't even know if I know a Tina. Well, I do know one Tina in real life. So, yeah, there's Tinas everywhere. All right. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 for me, I'm putting it down here with the other guys. To me, where it belongs, and feel free to disagree. We'll do this again at some point to where we'll let the live chat vote. Just when I'm by myself, because trying to do both of these and create the polls is tough to do for one person. All the stuff behind the scenes. So we are going to go with the theatrical version of The Curse of Michael Myers. We're not going to include the producer's cut for this one. And this will be the last one for the night, our last Halloween movie, The Curse of Michael Myers. Let me know in the chat. And here we go. I feel like I'm like starting a paranormal show or something. There's the good and the bad with this movie for me. The atmosphere in this movie is great. I think that they did a great job with Haddonfield, with the fall atmosphere. I think that looked freaking fantastic. I do. I thought it was great. It felt like Halloween. When that movie starts, it feels like Halloween. The atmosphere is pulling you in. You see the leaves. You see the decorations. You see the kids in costumes. You're like, yes, this is the atmosphere I'm talking about for Halloween. Yeah, that's about it for me. That's really all it had for me. This movie was very tough to follow. It made a lot of choices that it was better than 5. I'll give it that. It was better than 5, not as good as H2O. What's up with the baby, man? Why? Why did it have to be Michael's baby with his niece? Why? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? And not only what are we doing here, but how did that happen? Like, seriously. How did it happen? Did Michael leave his mask on? Well, why? Like how does that even happen? Paul Rudd was in this movie, and you could tell it was very early Paul Rudd. You could tell it was very early Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd to me in this movie sounded like someone that was comedically pretending to be in a horror movie. That's how I felt watching Paul Rudd in this movie. He didn't feel like he's not the ironed out Paul Rudd that we have now. Definitely not. Just every time you talk to him, he'd be like, Michael Myers is back and he's coming to kill us. And it's just like, why are you acting that way? It was bad for me. This movie did have some good kills though. It did have some good kills. I hated the fact that Michael had some buddies. You know, he had a team. To me, it needs like when I look at Halloween movies, I don't really look at them for what they are. I put them to the standard of the OG. It's like, can I believe that this guy standing here is the same guy that was in 1978? Can I believe that? I can't. Like, I don't. Like, I don't think that the Shape in 1978 would have any friends, would belong to a gang. I just don't. I feel like it always becomes, how did we get here? Like, how did we go from that to this? I mean, Loomis had some good lines in it. I will give it that. I don't think that it's Halloween 5 level or Resurrection level bad. Like I said, I think that it goes somewhere in between Halloween 5 and maybe Rob Zombie's Halloween for me. So I think it would go in the meh category. I think that's basically where I'm at with this one. Let's see what you guys got to say. Let's see. James says you're right. There's a lot of Tinas too. There are. Michael's saying it's good. Russell's saying it's okay. Paul is saying it's nice. James is saying revenge is great. Love the mask and all the kills. Which one is that? Do you mean Curse? Or are you talking about Revenge? That's 5, right? Imagine Michael Myers destroying a Barbie. Why? Jerry's saying good. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is underrated. I can't stress it enough. Dude, everybody, you like what you like, man. 100%. Then you find out Ken, who was the Shape. Oh my God, what are we talking about here? Russell said Paul Rudd didn't need to be in Halloween. Yeah, I don't think so either. Teal said H6 is like Kills, badass Michael, and underrated. He turned on the cult, symbolizing he was doing things on his terms and is a force of pure evil. Yeah. Russell said, oh no, don't give them ideas, James. You know you'd collect them, Russell. You know you would. Teal said H6 is a fun, bad movie, but the theatrical is okay. Why is the Myers house got to be pink? Is it because it's Barbie? Oh my God. It's true though, man. I'm sorry. It's true. Like that's how I felt watching that movie. Like it was bad. It was bad. And then you got like Mrs. Elrod's in on it. Like it was. God, what are we doing here? How did we get here? Had to do with astrological signs and all of that stuff. Like I just come on. No, I again, all of this is opinion based. I'm not saying it's how it is or how it needs to be, right? Because that's going to come from person to person. All I can give you is my thought process for what makes Halloween good, and what doesn't, and why I see it the way I do. Yeah, it is 100%. It is. It's even worse. Like it's bad. It's super bad. I never included on this just because it would be down the trash pile with the rest of them, and God forbid my trash pile be the biggest selection I have, in Halloween, right? Like it's just, I think why I feel so strongly about these movies and why I'm so hard on them and I don't give them a pass, because Halloween 78 set the standard, right? It set the standard for what a good slasher should be in my mind. I think this is why I'm so hard on Halloween. They're better than that. Like some of these movies, it's just like you look at it and be like, you guys are better than that. Come on. Just because we like characters doesn't never mean that we should give them a pass. To say you can give me a shit movie and I'm going to sit here and try to find the good things out of it just because it's all I got. I'll never give them a pass for it. Just because we love horror movies and we love slasher movies doesn't mean that we should be fed crap sometimes. It doesn't. Then you got to sit there and dissect it to try to find something you like to make you want to keep being a fan. No. Hold them accountable. That's what I do. Then again, I'm very, very, opinionated, I guess. Let's see. Russell said, I don't know what I watched in the producer's cut. Yeah, dude, it's yeah, it is. It's not great. It is not freaking great. It's got its own little cover and everything there, Russell. It's just a fantastically bad movie. Fantastic. Oh, God. H6 in the theatrical is some of the most badass shit in the franchise. Maybe you have badass moments, right? You have badass moments in a movie. But it doesn't make it good. Like, this is my opinion, of course. Like, you can have a badass kill. And it's just like, oh, that was awesome. What a waste. What a waste. Oh, my God. That's what I think, right? So I guess we all look at different things for what we what we want and what we like out of a movie. Just because I look at Halloween a certain way and want these things out of it doesn't mean you guys do, for sure. The Thorn stuff really confused. The tattoo on his wrist and all. Yeah, I was not a fan. So the conclusion tonight was that Halloween movies were either good or sucked ass. Well, I mean, each one of us will have our own opinion, right? Your guys' chart isn't going to look like this. I mean, I think I really only had 3 that sucked ass. And those were the usual 3. Definitely more that was good, or at least okay, for sure. James says, or Teal says, hear me out. Prime Anthony Michael Hall as Tommy Doyle instead of Rudd. That would have been interesting. Definitely would have been interesting. I'm trying to think, what year was Curse? That was like 96. Was Curse like 95 or 96? When was Curse of Michael Myers? I know it was in the 90s because I remember going to the theater and seeing it. '95. Okay. So how old was he in 95? Yeah, that would have been about right. That would have been about right because I think he was a teenager in the 80s. So that would have put him, in his 20s. And plus, he looked a little younger than he was back then. So yeah, that might have been. It might have been all right. If Donald Pleasant said this movie was fine, then I'm right with him. What? I don't understand. H78 will always be the true God. To me too. Me too, man. And I mean, Halloween 78 for me, it trumps all the Nightmare movies. It trumps all the Friday movies. It trumps all the Scream movies. For me, Halloween 78 is the standard. Like, it is. Like, I don't think you'll ever be able to duplicate or to replicate what that did. I mean, maybe in a new form or fashion later, somebody comes along and makes something, but yeah, it's just a goat. Yeah, it was 95. I knew it was right around there somewhere because I think I was in high school when I went to go see it in the theater. H2 and H18 are good. Halloween 4 is great. Kills is good. 78 goated. I'm pretty close on a lot of that. And I still think Rob Zombie's first Halloween was okay. I do. I think that the ones in the bottom tier, maybe a lot of people, some don't agree with Halloween 2. Some don't agree with where I put Curse. But yeah, I mean, that's probably it. I mean, I think that's fair for me. Ask me tomorrow. It may look totally different. James saying they would think I'm a basket case for coming with such an idea. Yeah, I don't think Barbie will do that, buddy. They're making their own money on their own stuff for sure, 100%. This was fun tonight, you guys. I've gotten noticeably sicker as the the show has gone on, unfortunately. So this will suck tomorrow because I know when I'm getting sick, but I love y'all. It was great to be back on a Sunday night. Hopefully I will be back soon. I don't know if I will not be here Friday night because I have to work. So it'll be next Sunday. It'll be next Sunday that I am back, and we'll do it all over again. We'll do it all over again, and it will be a blast. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here. I'm going to take some medicine and probably lay down. But I hope you guys had as much fun as I did, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Toodaloo, motherfucker. Hey.